question, but I think that'll help kind of. Savage, what's popping?
Is my mic better now?
You good now?
So I have some critiques. I'm not going to say smoke because I don't need to get piled on by the women tonight. But to address a few things, all right. Anytime I'm on these panels, I only talk about women. I don't say women specifically because I'm white with black women. So saying black women as a white man, I would get hung faster than I normally do on the panel, for one. For two, to address you, Risky, don't ever come for the Midwest again. Don't you do it.
Man, the Midwest is Snoop Dogg shit, bro. I can't say nothing else, man.
But a couple things. So whenever we bring up any sort of statistics that's based on populations, I've always stated when you go by the population of the people, white people normally commit crimes based on relative to their population. I've had that position multiple times. We've talked about this. The issue really isn't so much that one group does it more than the other group. Most men are getting tired of women. That's why the marriage rates are down to 51%. This is a black panel and a black show, so there's a lot more critique on black women because the men that are talking to you guys want to deal with you guys. So they're critiquing your behavior because it makes no sense to come on a dating show and critique white women's behavior to get better relationships with you guys. So you guys are taking, like, some of it might be personal, but most of the stuff that's being said isn't personal. Like when I told you to look up Duty Low is a rapper that had a woman make an allegation that was false about him abusing her son. It never happened. Like this stuff happens, but it doesn't get the media that everything else gets. Like right now, race is huge. Race gets a lot of clicks and a lot of money. It's been like that for like the last 10 years, really. Mm-hmm. But on my channel, I did a story of a woman cheating on her husband and he was going to file for divorce. So she ran him over with a car. And then while he laid there in a pool of blood, nobody helped him. And she beat him with the bumper of the car. And they were both black.
At the Walmart?
The cops, I'm not sure if it was a Walmart or not. The cops didn't even help. But the issue that we're having the issue that we're having in this society is men are having a problem with women's behavior in general. And when you look at the birth rates, when you look at the kids out of wedlock, marriage rates, all these statistics are lowering amongst all the races. Like, that's the main issue. I'm not going to ever come up here and address this as black women are doing. I can't really do that. I have to come at it from a cultural thing of the United States. And that's what I was trying to say in the chat.
Okay, I have a quick question then, because when we were talking about how, this is truly quick, I'm not coming at you. I want to know, when we were talking about the white women, what about them being soft and submissive when we have several examples of when they weren't, and when we brought up how they were lying? Why did you have a super chat that I got jumped all over? You said Carly, Brick Lady. What was your point in bringing them two up then when we're talking about white women that are supposedly soft and submissive?
Because this is the issue. The issue is women. You women bring it up as these white women are doing it and they do it more. But the problem is most women want the same type of things in men. Most women lie on dudes about if the kid's there. Like, these behaviors are natural to women in general. So it's disingenuous when you say these people do it, but it's happening as a woman's trait. Just like if any of the guys came up here and said men beat women, no one would argue with that. But if I came up here and said only black men beat their women, someone would be like, well, here's a case of white. Like, it's not a race thing. It's more of a cultural thing.
Another question, because black men, like you said, on a black panel holding black women accountable. What about you as a white man holding white women accountable when all those examples of white women came up?
I do.
No.
That's why I talk about women.
In the chat, or no, white women. Because black men are up here saying black women, hold yourself accountable, yada yada yada. When we brought up the white women doing these things, you didn't say one thing about, yes, white women need to improve, holding white women accountable. I didn't see a super chat about it. I don't go in the comments, so I didn't see a super chat about that, nor have you said anything about that now since you've been up here talking on the panel.
Because me talking about what white women should do has nothing to do with this panel.
Holding them accountable. When you see something wrong,
There's
like
not a white woman on the panel.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't. You can hold white women accountable and saying what those white women did was wrong. You can say that.
It is. We all said that this behavior was wrong.
I said, why didn't you say it as a white man? Because these black men hold us accountable every single week.
Because you're black women talking to black men. If there was a white woman up here, I would have addressed a white woman about it.
Speaking to the ethos then. And speaking to the ethos about the white
shit
women.
Like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Hold them accountable.
Do you remember the first time I came on this platform? I was talking about marriages and how women act in marriages, and I brought up
on topic. No, seriously, Savage. I'm really asking, like, why didn't you hold? I want to know why didn't you hold them accountable? That's all. I just want to know why you didn't do that.
I told you because they're not on this panel.
But you can still address it, though. All I'm saying, why didn't you address it?
Because there's no video. How many white women are in the chat? Do you know the statistics?
Not Ham. What's your name? Savage. It's not about white women in the chat. I'm saying you, as a white man that has seen the atrocities, giving examples and videos on this show, why didn't you address any of them? But you decided to put up Carly, Brick Lady.
Yeah.
Because that was addressing the comment that was said that these white women do it more. And my point was, it's a female behavior. Every super chat I said was about women and Western women. It was not based on race. It's not about accountability
on behalf. It is. I have not heard an accountability statement from the white man about white women doing wrong things yet. That's all I'm gonna say.
Doing wrong things to black men.
Because you're not gonna admit to it. I can hear you. I can see this is going to circular argument right now. You're not gonna do it. There's no white women on this panel.
There's none.
But we know white women, and there's white women out there that could potentially watch this show later.
Yeah, I want to jump in real quick because I got my sea legs now. Now I know what y'all talking about. And one of the things about this accountability thing that we keep doing, I think it looks a lot different in theory than it does in practice. Okay, we can't really hold people accountable. What we are doing usually is addressing our concerns, and that's usually going to come in the form of talking to your own women. All right. I'm not going on any white panels. I'd probably be bored there. Okay. The same way they don't season their food, I would probably not find their panel interesting. It wouldn't be seasoned.
Wow.
Savage is married to a black woman. Do you have a child with that woman?
No, I'm married to a white woman.
Yeah, black child. You have children with a black woman?
I have a child with a black woman, and my wife had a child with a black man.
Okay, so even whether y'all like it or not, he's kind of invested in this conversation in a way.
There you go.
Right? I'm just saying.
Are you kidding me?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
This is how he ended up in the conversation.
Not true, man.
When I talk about
not true at all.
Holding people accountable, when it's let me just put it this way. I feel robbed. And when we have this accountability thing about black men divesting, this is why I think they're doing it. Because I have a personal, like, I'm African, right? I'm Nigerian, but I've only ever loved black American women. I knew I was going to marry one since I was yay high, right? So now that I have married one and we have two beautiful children, we've been married 5 years as of August, right? So my children need role models. My daughter needs more black female role models. So I'm very invested in this conversation. And when I come out, is to address concerns to those women who are supposed to be those role models and the way that y'all are behaving. And
finish. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah. What we usually see is a lack of acknowledgement from our women about their behavior and the doubling down on bad behavior. Right? Yeah, I said that.
Turn this into this.
Hey, Mr. Mike.
Mr.
Mike, would you be considered a divester because you didn't date somebody from your culture?
Me? No, I was raised here, so I wouldn't be considered a divester.
But your culture
if I was from over there, if I was raised primarily over there, yeah, probably.
Are both your
But I
parents
was raised-
Nigerian?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just question. But to add on to this situation,
Wait,
I think
hold on,
that
AJ.
also,
Are you addressing Savage or generally?
I'm gonna agree with Savage and in general as well.
All right. Well, let me. I gotta talk to Savage real quick
Right, go ahead.
before you get in there. Where is he? Don't hide from me.
I wasn't hiding.
Savage. Here's the problems. If you're talking about all the women, the Western women, then when we brought up tangible and viable examples of poor behavior from white women, all you have to do is agree. But the samples that you brought up was putting it back on what black women were doing. That's where it gets cloudy. Because if it's women doing bad, all you have to do is say, hell yeah, these white women ain't shit too. But that didn't happen.
Every super chat I had kept reiterating Western women. I said it multiple times, Western women.
Yeah.
So I kept the same exact energy throughout every super chat.
Kinda, right? So like this one, is it right? But then this one puts it back on black people, right?
Because
this one refuted the false allegations, right? Of black players being their lives being destroyed by white women. And then this one, so you did say Western women here.
But that one about the black athletes wasn't racial. They don't track false allegations of rape at all as a statistic.
No, you're right.
Race thing.
You're right, but it was race on race, right? So this one's a Western one, and then we got this one again.
You asked the question. We need to check these stats, and I said they don't track them.
All right. I concede. I don't mind conceding. I'll concede that one, but I'm gonna kick your ass on the rest of these, right? So the Martin guy, you were talking about Romeo, right, from the Steve Harvey show, but this was back on black people. That was all good. But see, that's what muddies the waters for me, because if it's women ain't shit, then women ain't shit. There's no reason to put it back on Romeo and black people. This one too, right?
Okay.
You feel me? So that's why it was kind of shaky when you were explaining it to Love. Yeah, go ahead.
Again, because these super chats are referring to something you guys say, and then you read them later. There were multiple comments that say these crazy white women do this. Black women don't want to go to jail. That was said. We got families to raise. These women are privileged and crazy. So my super chats are addressing the things that are being said on the panel.
No, I know, but they're refuting, right? They're putting it back on black women. They're putting it back on the black culture when we're talking about white women specifically. I know you telling the truth on what you're saying, but the super chats don't reflect it. If somebody is reading in a vacuum, they would look like you're deflecting and trying to protect the poor conduct of white women because you're putting it back on black every time with your super chats.
But I never said white women don't do that. I never said that that's a lie. I never in any way caped for white women.
No,
it was about women, but it was about women all the way through.
You're right, but you didn't say they do it. You didn't acknowledge it. You didn't push it forward. It's several examples of black people doing bad things in the super chats. And now you got to give me credit. I read the super chats on time better than most platforms. I'm not perfect.
I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm just saying that it's hard for anyone to respond to something that's said because conversation goes.
It keeps going.
Yeah,
all right,
that's how it works.
All right, get from next to me. I'm done kicking you.
But I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
it. Can I say something, please?
No, you cannot. AJ.